Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a bonus episode of the Your Relationship With podcast. I'm back to talk about networking. Oh, by the way, I'm Melissa Snow. I have been recording podcasts all day long. And not the fun kind, not the interviews. Those are already done. I've just been sitting here recording the intros and recording my own podcast. And I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again to myself and my cat. And it's super fun. So that's why I crack myself up sometimes when I say, hey, welcome to another episode of the Our Relationship Podcast. I'm like, you literally have said that 40,000 times this morning. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Anyway, here we go. We're talking today about networking. When should you be doing it and how often? These are some of the questions I get asked most often. And I hear a lot of people say, I'm not networking because I'm new in business, or I'm not networking because I'm not new in business. I am consistently making six figures and I don't need to network. And so I want to bust some of these myths about when you should be networking, when the best time to be networking is, and how often you should be networking. Now, I want to start this by saying I'm going to use the word should a lot, but networking is not a one size fits all thing. And it's not going to necessarily be the same for you in 6 months as it is right now. So for example, I know a lot of people in the mortgage industry. They have really busy times of the year and they have times of the year that are not so busy. And sometimes it's not always the same. Sometimes the times that they're not busy are not the same times that they weren't busy last year. So during those times that business itself is not as busy, they may be networking more. Whereas the times that business itself is more busy, there's more work to do in and on the business, they may not be networking as much. So take everything that I'm going to say with a grain of salt and apply it to you and your own business, because you know better than anyone else. But there are a couple things that I do want to address. First is this idea that you should always be networking. That is not necessarily true. More is not always better. You've heard me talk many times about quality over quantity. So I want to put that out there for starters. But I also know a lot of people that do a whole bunch of networking, like to the point that I'm like, is networking your job? Do you ever work in and on your business? What do you actually do besides go to networking events and have coffee with people? Now, both those things are great, but there also needs to be a balance, right? There is a lot of people who like to go to networking events and have these one-on-ones because it feels like you're doing something to grow your business, but you're not actually. So you want to make sure that you are aware of how much time you're spending networking and what your return on investment is. Is it really doing what you think it's going to do, what you're hoping it's doing? Or are you just keeping yourself busy because that feels better, because you can still say, well, I networked every day this week. I still don't have clients, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, so it's not my fault. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. You don't have to be networking all the time, but networking is important regardless of the stage of business that you are at. So if you are a newer entrepreneur, if you just started your business or you're still working towards making consistent income, yes, you should be networking. Networking is your fast pass to the front of the line. It is the fastest way for you to get your name out there and to get the most people to know that you exist and what you do and why it matters. Your number one goal when you are new in business is to make sure that as many people as possible know who you are, what you do, what problem you solve, who you help. And when you network, you can do that so much more fast because, like I said in my first bonus episode, you don't have to go out and meet 1,000 people. You just have to meet 10 people who each know 100 people, and then you get access to those networks. As for how often you should be doing it, if you're newer in business, you're probably not spending as much time delivering client results, packaging products, that kind of thing. So you are probably in a space where it makes sense for you to be networking weekly, at least, to join a networking group that meets every week and to also be consistently going to some of those one-off events. You are building from scratch, so make connections like it's your job, because right now it is. However, asterisk here, don't forget, quality over quantity. You don't want to be the salesy weirdo that's going to all of these events and handing out your business cards like Halloween candy. You want to be going to these events, making sure that you're focused on creating real, authentic connections with people that you feel aligned with, for people that you can provide value to, and for people that can also provide value to you. Now, the other end of the spectrum is people who are consistently making six figures. It is easy to fall into the complacency trap of, I don't need to network anymore. My business is doing it for me. I am so far advanced. I'm so far, not advanced, ahead in business. I have such a full client load that my clients are my network. My clients are telling everybody how great I am. People are coming to me through them. I don't need to actually be networking. That's not always true, even when it feels like it. When you are consistently bringing in the kind of money that you want to be bringing in, you still don't want to fully relax on the networking game. Now is the time to continue to network, but to be more picky about it. Maybe now is the time that you switch from going to weekly networking events to monthly networking events. There's a lot of groups that meet only once a month. And maybe that is better for you now that you are consistently bringing in income. Maybe you're looking for groups where there are more high quality interactions, right? You're looking more for that quality over quantity. And you're looking for the groups that have the people that align with your big goals. So you are no longer in that stage of like, I just need to keep the lights on in here. You are in that stage of who can help me grow and evolve and take my business to the next level. You don't want to get complacent on your networking game because you never know where those other funnels are going to dry up or when. So you want to make sure by networking, you are consistently bringing new people into the funnel. You just may want to be doing it a different way or less often or with different people once you're making consistent income. Now, regardless of whether you are new in business, old in business, I'm not calling you old, just your business. You've been in business for a long time. You're bringing in consistent income. You're not bringing in consistent income. 4 things to always remember. Number 1, consistency is key, but always make sure that you adapt the consistency to your needs, right? Networking is not a do once and forget it thing. It's like yoga. You have to continue to do it over and over and over because you are going to change. You are going to progress. The things that you're doing now are going to be different than the things you're doing 10 months from now. And you're going to want your networking game to grow with you. Number 2, be intentional. Always. If you go to a networking group or networking event and you're not feeling it, don't force it. Nothing screams, I would rather be anywhere but here than your resting bitch face and your half-ass conversations. You are wasting your time if you are in a space that you don't want to be. Number 3, remember why you are networking. The purpose is to grow personally and professionally. The moment that you stop growing, your business will stop growing too. And remember what I said in the last bonus episode, you're not there to make sales. You are there to grow your network. And last, but certainly not least, remember, authenticity always wins. Don't show up to these networking events, regardless of where you're at in business, with this persona of, I am this successful networker. I am this successful business person. Everything is great in my world. I'm making so much money. I have no problems. How can I bless you with my existence? Okay, maybe not to that extreme. But I, just like you, have gone to these events feeling like I have to look like I have it all together or no one's going to want to network with me. No one's going to want to be in my network. No one's going to want to refer to me. No one's definitely going to want to hire me unless I look like I have it all together. But the reality is most people, especially the people you want to be hanging with, can spot a fake person from a mile away. And that is going to be repelling to your people. If you want to attract authenticity, you want to attract integrity, you want to attract real connections, then be that yourself. Be yourself at these networking events and allow the right people to come to you. If you have other questions about networking, when you should be doing it, how often, what space you should be doing it in, definitely reach out to me and check out the Powerful Women Rising community. There's a lot of resources in there about how to be a better, more effective networker and how to have more fun while you're doing it. And that's one of the things that we're practicing and building in that community. So click the link in the show notes. Definitely check that out and get out there, go network, tell me how it goes. All right, sisters, I'll see you next time.